In the heart of the African continent, where vast golden deserts stretch endlessly, dense forests shimmer with life, and great rivers flow with secrets, lie the stories of ancient civilizations that have shaped an unforgettable part of human history. Africa, the cradle of humanity, was not just a land of breathtaking nature, but also a stage for the flourishing of cultures and civilizations that amazed the world with their scientific, artistic, and architectural achievements. Let us embark on a journey through time to discover how our African ancestors crafted a history whose echoes still resonate today. In the north, the land of pharaohs and eternal pyramids. In the north, where the golden sands of the Sahara meet the banks of the Great Nile River, one of the greatest civilizations in history emerged: ancient Egypt. Imagine standing before the towering pyramids, those engineering marvels built by the ancient Egyptians as tombs for their pharaohs and symbols of their power and belief in the afterlife. These pyramids were not just piles of stones, but the result of profound knowledge of mathematics and astronomy, leaving us to wonder, how did they achieve such precision without modern technology? But the pyramids are not the only marvel. The ancient Egyptians developed a mysterious and intriguing writing system known as hieroglyphics, through which they recorded their history, myths, and even their knowledge of medicine and agriculture. Imagine reading texts thousands of years old, revealing a world of beliefs and science that still astonishes researchers today. To the south, the Kingdom of Kush, the great power of Nubia. Heading south in the region of Nubia, another magnificent civilization flourished, the Kingdom of Kush. This kingdom, a great power in the region for centuries, was a vital trade hub connecting Africa to the outside world. Imagine caravans of traders crossing the desert, laden with gold, ivory, and precious goods, heading to Egypt and the Middle East. But Kush was not just a trade intermediary. It was a civilization in its own right. The Nubians built massive temples and smaller pyramids, influenced by Egyptian culture but with their unique touches. Even more fascinating, they developed advanced ironworking techniques, making them a formidable military and economic force. Imagine how this civilization thrived in the heart of the desert, leaving a legacy that is still studied today. West Africa, the land of gold and cities of knowledge. In West Africa, where savannas and rainforests stretch out, the ancient kingdom of Ghana, known as the Land of Gold, emerged. Ghana was a crucial trade center controlling trans-Saharan trade routes, making it one of the wealthiest kingdoms in African history. Imagine the flow of gold through this kingdom, attracting traders from all over the world. But the story doesn't end there. It was followed by the Mali Empire, renowned for its legendary ruler Mansa Musa, considered one of the richest individuals in history. Under his rule, the city of Timbuktu became a center of learning and culture, where libraries and universities buzzed with scholars studying astronomy, medicine, and law. Imagine walking through the ancient streets of Timbuktu, hearing the debates of scholars, and seeing the rare books that preserved centuries of knowledge. East Africa, the Kingdom of Axum, and the treasures of Abyssinia. In East Africa, where the oceans meet the mainland, civilizations like the Kingdom of Axum and Abyssinia thrived. Axum was one of the most powerful kingdoms in the ancient world, controlling trade routes between Africa, India, and the Middle East. The Axumites built massive, intricately carved obelisks that symbolized their power and wealth. Imagine these towering obelisks standing tall, testaments to an unforgettable civilization. Even more intriguing is that Abyssinia was home to the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, one of the oldest Christian denominations in the world. Imagine how this culture preserved its religious and artistic traditions over the centuries, becoming an integral part of the region's identity. Central and Southern Africa, the legacy of the Bantu and Great Zimbabwe. In Central and Southern Africa, where forests and rivers abound, cultures like the Bantu people emerged, spreading across the continent and establishing prosperous agricultural communities. The Bantu developed advanced farming and ironworking techniques, enabling them to build stable and complex societies. Imagine how these communities worked in harmony with nature, leaving behind remarkable artistic artifacts like stone sculptures and decorated pottery. In the south, where savannas and towering mountains stretch out, the great Kingdom of Zimbabwe arose, famous for its massive stone city of Great Zimbabwe. This city was a significant political and commercial center, controlling trade routes between the interior and the coast. The eastern coasts, cities of trade and cultural diversity. Along the eastern coasts of Africa, coastal cities like Kilwa, Mombasa, and Zanzibar flourished as important trading hubs connecting Africa to the Arab world, India, and China. These cities were bustling with traders and sailors from diverse cultures, making them melting pots of cultural and religious exchange. Imagine how these cities thrived with activity, where grand mosques and palaces were built, reflecting their wealth and interaction with the outside world. A legacy that lives on. Although these civilizations have faded or transformed over time, their legacy remains alive in the monuments they left behind and in the cultures and traditions still practiced today. Africa was never an isolated or backward continent, but always a center of creativity and innovation, where cultures thrived and exchanged knowledge with the outside world. By studying these civilizations, we learn that the history of Africa is the history of humanity, with all its achievements and challenges. It is a reminder that every culture contributes to the building of human civilization, and that Africa was, and remains, a continent rich in cultural and historical diversity, where civilizations met and interacted, creating a complex tapestry of stories and achievements that are an inseparable part of our shared history. Are you ready to discover more secrets of this great continent? Let us continue the journey, for every stone, every text, and every artifact holds a story waiting to be told.